let's get started. We're going to hop into where Doom awaits, which is the penultimate mission. Oh, there's no easy setup button? That would have been nice, right? Alright, well, good news for us is we got to our hammer for Lily. And so we have one in the deck. Hopefully, we'll get a second one before the last mission. Um, we get to search for our stick to the plan, so we're going to grab Ever Vigilant and Prepared for the Worst and Emergency Cash. So you can see we spent some XP to upgrade these. That way we get the most value from them. Oh, let's do the book before we start the mission, or before we start mulligans. So here we go. Here's the spot. If Naomi had our back, we'd get a special thing, but unfortunately she doesn't. So, and it would be different because we're doing the return to. Instead of doing the extra clue, you get a asset, but unfortunately, we don't. Put the locations into play. We're supposed to leave 3 copies of Diverging Path aside, so 2 of them are going to get removed from the game now because they added an extra one. We're going to be adding a -5 token, and we restored Silas Bishop, so we put Ascending the Hill version 1. 2 broods escaped, so we add 2 doom to the agenda. We did not put him out of his misery, so we don't spawn anything, and we are good. Okay, so 2 doom. We don't need that. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Ascending the Hill version, or Path to the Hill, Ascending the Hill version 1, Ascending the Hill version 2, Ascending the Hill version 3. Okay. Act 2, Act 1. When gathering the set switch, set the Naomi Bannon aside, replace the original one and the ascending path with the new ones, add the extra location, then randomly remove one and then remove a second. So basically just remove 2. If Naomi had your back, instead of clues, you get the asset to your deck. So we'll show her real quick. Obviously, she would have been neat. But unfortunately, we don't get to add her. She's got pretty good icons, and she's effective for either your investigator or your clue getter, and sometimes really effective for one of them. But that's that. We'll bring this down so we don't miss it. We're going to start here at the base of the hill. We grab Lily. So we're going to just take this and then put 2. Put 2. Alright, so then we're going to put these 3 over here. And these 3 over here. These 4 get removed from the game. We are here. After you discover one or more clues, you spend the clue to put a location into play. In order to ascend up, we need to have 4 clues. So, and once you have 4 clues, you must immediately advance. This is a forced, so once you get your clue here, it must immediately be spent. It's not like you could save it. So we're going to have to get 4 clues off of these 3 locations. Alright, we were starting to do mulligans. We did most of the lilies, so, oh, that's right. We need to hop off to the GM person. Okay. Alright, well, none of those are hammers, and none of those are poles. So we'll put them all here and draw 5 more. Okay, well, we can't mulligan more, but we would if we could. Luckily, we have are prepared for the worst to maybe get us where we're going. We'll see. Alright, we have Charisma on Norman. He got some quality of life stuff with his XP. He bought Board of Protection. I can't remember what I put the other 2 XP into, and then he's sitting on 1 because I didn't have a good way to use the last one. I can't think of it. Alright. Alright, so normally I would mulligan Research Librarian in this situation, but we really want to get to our Astronomical Atlas. So instead, I think we're going to mulligan Milan, and we'll try to draw him again later. But we're going to mulligan the rest because we're still looking for other cards. And if we hit the Astronomical Atlas, then we can get our Livre. Oh, that's right. I upgraded Fearless so we can heal more horror because we have so much base horror into us. All right. So we'll shuffle in. We'll flip our deck because we're Norman, and we are now ready to begin. So we'll start by spending 2 resources to play Research Librarian, which we'll just put on the Charisma. We'll search our deck, and we know that we will always be able to hit our Astounding Revelation for 2 resources. We will get our Astronomical Atlas once I stop being blind. And then we will spend 3 to get that. We will then immediately. So we played our Research Librarian. We're playing the Atlas. We're putting this on top, and then we're going to investigate the location, and we'll commit this. So we are 7 to 4, which is +3. We can come over to here and see. Oh, we have to add the -5, which is in this. Okay, and then if we update, it should be accurate. Okay, so there's 2 fails on that. I feel like we have to just pull anyway. Let's make sure we shuffle. Okay. Well, that's not nice. So since it cancels the skill icons, it's a fail. Okay. Oh, that happened. Alright, so now it's Lily's turn. She will prepare for the worst and hope to hit one of her 3 weapons. And she misses. By the way, did I mention how much I hate this card? But I play it in a lot of decks like this that need to hit a specific card. Alright, well, we don't have our weapons, so let's get some ability to fight down, and then we'll gain a resource so we can play either of these cards next turn. But this game is not going to go well for Lily unless things change quickly. Alright, Doom on the agenda, 3 of 12, and encounter cards. Let's make sure we shuffled. I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, that number looks high. Okay, draw the top 2, or place a Doom on the current agenda. I think we're just going to block that with a Ward of Protection, because we're not ready to fight a bunch of enemies. Of course, we'll immediately get punished with that. Is this a Sentinel Hill location? It is. So we're testing Willpower 4, and if you fail, you take damage. Okay, well, we're going to commit both of these to be +4. We'll succeed, so we draw a card. Oh, I didn't do upkeep for him. That's funny. We'll heal 2, and then Lily will also have to. I didn't do upkeep for Lily either. Oh, well, there we go. We drew the hammer. That's really fortunate. She'll test. Oh, we have to get our skills from our disciplines. So she's a base of even, and she does not want to commit any cards, so she will be even. So she'll take 2 damage. Alright, so Lily will go. She will play Emergency Cash. I'll stick to the plan. And then she will play her hammer. Emergency Cash, hammer, and then get a resource to prep up a turn for this next turn. It's Norman's turn. Whenever we have this, we kind of just have to dump it. We'll eat this with this. We could play Research Librarian off the top. We don't really need it. Let's investigate instead. We'll go +3 again. Okay, this time we succeed. Does this block the effects as well? Cancel the effects. Yep, cool. So we don't draw a card. But we do get the clue, which we immediately must spend to get a location and put into play. Okay, so we clicked off our weakness and did that. We'll go upkeep and upkeep, Doom on the agenda, and encounter cards. Flip each non-sentinel Hill location to its unrevealed side. None of that's going to matter. Okay, that's fine. Nothing happens. We haven't revealed any yet. Later on, that'll matter. Or could matter. We have no clue, so it gains Surge. Monster spawns here. At the end of the enemy phase, it moves towards Sentinel Peak. If it gets there, add Doom to the current agenda. Okay. Well, Lily's going to smack it with a hammer. She is 9 to 3, so she's +6. and that's enough to succeed, but it's not enough to use the ability. So she'll just use her beat cop to get the third damage, because succeeding by 1 is not enough. She needs more resources to get full value, right? So if we do this, we could play this for 1, this for 2, and this for 2, so we're 1 short. So let's do flipping our discipline. We will lose this to take the... oh, it's got to be direct. We covered that last time, but we will do that. We'll take a horror to heal 3. Okay, and then it's Norman's turn. Norman will eat this. I guess we'll draw that. Okay. What do we want to do? We can investigate this location to get more stuff, but we're not really favored to get clues here, and we don't have our loop yet. So let's move down. Okay, after you reveal it, put 2 Doom on it, and if you succeed, you can remove Doom. Oh, that's super cool. Alright, well, let's investigate. Well, 0, so it's a success, so we will remove the Doom. And then I guess we investigate again, so we're +2. Yep, we succeed. This isn't altered, right? Nope. Alright, that's our 3. Move. Ooh, oops. Move, investigate, investigate. Alright, so then we'll go upkeep. That's nice to see. Can we just do this now? Yeah, let's just get this out of the way. Okay, upkeep over here. That's great. Doing the agenda, 5 of 12, and encounter card. Okay. Attached to the agenda or the act, limit 1 per, treat all damage as direct, so you can't soak. So we'll put it on the act, because we're more likely to advance that. Test willpower, discard top card of your deck. We know that discarding top card of our deck is going to leave us to here, so that's real bad for us. So we're going to commit Guts to the test to get to +1. And we'll commit this to be +2. We succeed, so Guts comes to our hand, and we draw a card. And we get rid of that. Alright, we're going to just play shortcut using our ability. That will let us move back to here, and then we will investigate using Eureka to be +2. We'll fail, and we'll investigate again. We will succeed, so we have to immediately spend the clue and put a location into play, and then we'll just move there and find out what it means. After you reveal it, take 2 horror if you have no actions remaining. Well, of course we don't, so we would take 2 horror. Right on time, immediately punished. Okay, well, we set up for Lily all that time, so she can now play her Ever Vigilant. So she'll spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She'll play Sixth Sense for 2, Enchant Weapon for 2 on the hammer, and she'll play Holy Rosary for 1. And then she'll gain a resource. And then she'll move in with Norman, expecting to get these clues next turn. She didn't take damage this round, so she'll get her discipline back. And we can go to upkeep. Okay, that's not bad to see. Doom on the agenda, and encounter cards. Monster, furthest location from us will be up at the peak. And here. So since we drew it, the prey doesn't matter, it attaches to us. If it's being attacked by a ranged weapon, a firearm, or a spell, it gains -3 fight. That's none of those things. That's interesting. Okay. So we will have Lily fight it. She'll use her enchant weapon. So the way that's going to work is when you use the hammer, you add your willpower, and then when you use enchant weapon, you also add it again. So now we're using 15 to 5, so we're +10. So we're probably going to do well here. All right, and we get to get a broken discipline back. Now we don't have any, but that's okay. But we'll deal. It's a non-elite monster. Um, so we could do. Yeah, so we're gonna use this to do an extra 2 damage. So 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4, which is the life total of the thrall, so it will die. You can see why the Cyclopean Hammer is considered to be one of the best weapons. So that's action 1. Action 2 is going to be to investigate the location. We're plus 3. We'll succeed and grab a clue, and we'll do that again. And we'll fail. That's fine. So then it's Norman's turn. Norman is going to play his Libre, or Livre rather. This is just going to give us the ability to do some deck manipulation type stuff. Right now everything's pretty good, so we're going to move back up. So move, and then we'll investigate the location. So we are 5 to 4 currently. I don't really like those odds, so what we're going to do is we're going to switch. I've got a plan for Foresight. We're then going to consume the Foresight with our Atlas, then we're going to commit this to be plus 3, and we'll throw the Atlas, or the Necronomicon, into be plus 4, which covers most of the bag. That will get us there. We have to force spend the clue, and we get the last location. Alright. And then Foresight comes back to our hand because it was part of a successful test. First the monster will hunt, then we do upkeep. Okay. Then we do upkeep. We can obviously see we're going to eat that, so we'll just take it. That's a great thing to see as well. All right. We're going to need to put that onto Norman over there to help survive this Beyond the Veil shot. All right. Doom on the agenda. 7 of 12. Encounter card. Draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Well, we can't stop it. Luckily, now we have our hammer, so we can kind of deal with whatever shows up. Yep, so that's going to be on Lily, and nobody. Oh, Norman is there. So Norman has to test this. Norman is even. Norman will go plus 2. And that's all we can do. Automatic failure is 2 damage. Luckily, we have taken little damage. Actually, we're going to soak the 1 on the Research Librarian, because we have to be able to try to survive through this. But that's fine. That's the 2 cards from that. Whoops. This card. We have no clues, so Surge. Okay, this is the most spaces away, so that's where it'll go. We'll have Norman go first. They'll enter this location. After you reveal it, lose the remaining. Okay, game loves us. Alright, so that's the end of our turn. And Lily will go. She will fight with her hammer. She'll be plus 1,000,000,000. And that'll kill it. I think that had victory, actually, didn't it? Yeah, nice. What does it say? Let's make sure I didn't mess that up. We didn't draw a hex or a pact card, so we're fine, right? Actually, let's see what we drew. That's an omen. That's a hex. So we did draw 1 hex. So what does it do? It's an attack, so 1 and 2. Okay. So we'll take the horror on the B cop and then 1 and 1. Okay. Oh, we can't do it. We can't do soaking. That's right. So then this research librarian is actually still going to be in play, and we'll take the damage because the light of Alfnergon is in play. Alfnergon. Okay, so that's action 1. Was punching this guy. Action 2 will be to investigate plus 3. We'll succeed and get the clue. We could move up, but moving up here isn't going to be very helpful for us. And we don't want to do this. So we're actually just going to flip our discipline down. And we will take a physical to heal 3 horror. And then we'll go to monster phase. So they'll hunt, upkeep, and upkeep. There we go. That's a good way to get extra clues. Doom on the agenda, and encounter cards. Lily does have clues, so she's going to have to test this. She is -1. Okay. Well, she has nothing to modify that, so she'll be -1. will fail, so we have to place down 2 clues or take horror. I think we'll take horror. I want to save the actions. It's going to mean we don't get our discipline back this turn, but that shouldn't matter. Normans. Okay, this spawns up at the base of the hill, which also means that this guy's going to attack Lily anyway, so alright. Well, Lily will go, she'll step on up and grab some friends. She'll use her hammer, and she'll use her hammer with the enchant weapon, and then the beat cop will do the other one. Or actually, we don't have to use the beat cop because we can exhaust the hammer for one, and we can exhaust this for the other. Yeah, that's 3 and 3. Neither has victory, and neither one of these. Yeah, so that's fine. So that's all 3 of her actions. Norman can go. Oh, nice. And I would have committed this deduction. So what is it? So we succeed. We can swap cards. Sure. And then we'll take both clues. And then we have to immediately spend them per the rules up here to advance, which also discards that. Remove all clues. The arcane presence prevents the path. Okay, so we can now ascend up the hill. The path is no longer blocked. When we enter Sentinel Peak, we can advance, and in order to do that, we must spend 4 clues, which we'll get from the ascending path locations. That's fine. Alright, so that was action 1, was the investigate. This was part of a successful test, so it comes to our hand. Norman can move here as action 2. Let's swap the top card of our deck. I guess we shouldn't have switched cards before anyway. And we'll use this, to play our divination for 1 less by using our ability. Alright, so this monster will come down and hunt. Lily will take it, and now that the light of Alfregon is gone, she'll take it and split it with the beat cop. And then we'll do upkeep. Okay. Okay. Doom on the agenda, 9 of 12, and encounter card. Attached to your location, after an investigation here draws a card they must test. Okay, well we plan to leave here, so we're not going to bother even considering using ward on that. If there are no abomination enemies in play, I don't believe he's an abomination. He is, so it's actually going to go on to him. Okay. Whenever you enter their location, or it enters yours, you take a horror. Okay, that's no problem. So we'll have Lily go. She'll use her hammer and be plus 1,000,000. She has solved the problem. She will move up the hill. And she will see that it's the same as the other one. Okay. So it's very unlikely that she's going to be able to get this clue, so we're not going to try. We have not taken damage this turn. Is that correct? Or did we take it? No, yeah, we did not take damage this turn. So she's going to get her discipline back, so we don't want to mess with that. So then, is there anything else that we would like to do? We could investigate with guts. That would get us to +2. We could use steadfast. What is it, 7? So we get 2. That would get us to +4. Sure. Let's investigate to try to speed up the clock. So we succeed. So we draw a card from guts. We get a clue, but we must immediately spend it to get one of these locations and put it into play. That's all 3 for Lily. Norman can move up. Norman's going to investigate. We're going to use our divination. We're +2 skill, so we're 7 to 4 is +3. And we are going to swap the top card of our deck. Ooh, that's a good one for later too. And then, sorry, we're going to use this to do that, to swap the top card. We're going to use this to consume it, and then we're going to commit this to the test to be +4. We succeed, so this is a successful test, so it goes to our hand. And then instead of getting 1 clue, we have to spend charges, right? So we're just going to spend 2 charges to get 2 clues. So we get them both, and then again, per the rules, we need to chuck them. So 1 and 2. I'm just going to put this up here for ease, and then with our final action, we'll go over here. Okay, after you reveal it, take 1 horror for every action you have remaining. Well, we have none remaining, so that's good for us. Alright, so then we go to the monster phase. Lily cleared them all out. This is going to stay indefinitely, but we're just never going to end at that location, so that's fine. So we'll go to upkeep, and we have too many cards, so we need to discard down. We cannot discard this. We need soak for later. We don't need 2 copies of this, so let's chuck 1. And we already hit our weakness, so let's chuck that. That's 8. Upkeep for Lily. She gets her discipline back, and she's good on cards in hand. That reminds me, I didn't do it. We have to play the Talisman onto Norman when we get a window. 10 of 12, and encounter cards. Discard the top 3 cards of each deck if you hit a location. Okay, so instead we're going to say no thank you. The main reason for this is because we don't want Norman to lose cards from their deck. They've already gotten pretty low because they're going to take so much damage from this. Like they only have 4 or 5. I don't even know if I can get them to live 7. I don't think we can. Now that I'm looking at it, I think they're just going to die if it happens. So yeah, we're going to just buy some more turns. Test agility. For each point you fail by, you must discard a card or take damage. That's fine. So we will just test -3. So we have to do all 4, so we'll just discard 4 cards. Yeah, so we're acknowledging that we can't beat that situation. 1. I really don't want to lose that, but I guess we're going to have to. 2, 3, 4. We can loop this. It'll be okay. We probably don't need the combat. Let's keep the water protection in case we hit something later. We'll trust in Lily to do the fighting. All right. So let's do the deduction loop where we put deduction on top of our deck. Then we succeed and throw it up here, and we'll investigate. We succeed. We get deduction back. We'll take both clues. And then we will move to here with no actions left. After you reveal it, if you have actions remaining, place Doom on the agenda. Well, we don't. So Lily will come in. Lily will investigate. She is +1. We'll go +2, 3, 4. She needed every single one of those points. She'll succeed. And then the way Eureka works, it works for the investigating player. So Lily gets to pick from the top 3 cards. Well, we'll take the Beat Cop. And then we can investigate again, but I'm very skeptical that this will work. We can only be +2, +3. Yeah, sure, we'll go +3. Why not? What's the worst that could happen, right? Yeah, we succeed. All right. So then we have 4 clues, so we can advance next turn, or we can move up next turn. So that's good. And then this is successful, so we heal a horror from Norman. There's no monsters in play, so we just do upkeep and upkeep. Doom on the agenda, 11 of 12, and encounter card. Well, I guess we're drawing the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Flip each non-Sentinel Hill location and play to its unreveal side, removing each clue. Move them all back to the nearest. Okay. Well, we were planning to move back anyway, so that's great. But the way that this is going to work, this is that card that we got before that I said didn't matter. So we just put the cards in face down, like this. And basically they get reset. And then we get sent back to the middle, which actually significantly helps us. So that's card 1. Card 2, location with the most clues. So there's no clues, so we get to pick. So we get to pick this one. And that's fine. So that's done. Oh gosh. All right, well, here we go. This is why we kept the water protection earlier, right? So we'll spend a resource and take a horror. All right. So we'll have Lily go first. Lily will move up as an additional cost to move into here. We must spend 4 clues as a group. And then we must reveal this. Remove Seth Bishop enemy from the game. So basically, because we restored Silas earlier, we don't have to deal with Seth. Okay. And then we must spend 4 clues at Sentinel Peak to advance. So Lily has 2 more actions. So she's going to attempt to investigate. She is +1 to the location. So actually, instead, I'm going to have her play Delve Too Deep, which is fine. That has Surge. And we'll spawn this guy down here. I love you, game. Okay. We fail by 3, so the top 3 go away. Luckily, it does flip through the weakness, but here we are. Alright. Well, now it's Norman's turn. But sorry, Delve Too Deep does go into the display. And then Norman can move up. And then investigate. We're going to use divination. We're going to still use our intellect, and we're going to use deduction. We're going to do the whole loop. So we're going to swap the top card, eat the top card with the astronomical atlas, and then commit it. So we get to be we're 8. So 8 is 4. So we'll do this. So we're +5. Hey, we succeed. We will take all of the clues. We will spend 3 charges from our divination. I'll make sure that we're allowed to spend 3. But I do believe I am. 1, 2, or 3 charges, yes. So we'll spend all 3 charges to get all of the clues because I don't want to die, even though it would be physical. Part of me wants to greed for another Delve Too Deep from Lily. Oh, she actually had 1 more action, right? Because it doesn't matter, even if she draws Delve Too Deep. Yeah. But it's fine. And so we have all the clues, so we advance, which is just a resolution 1. We're only going to have 4 XP for Lily, so we can't put in a second hammer. Unless we get a bonus one. Let's see. No, we just get the display, and we entered the gate. So, oh well, we went pretty well. We were 1 XP short of getting a Cyclopean hammer onto Lily, so no big deal. I hope everyone had a good time. Got a little close there at the end, but we managed to pull it out. And we'll be ready tomorrow to finish up the return to Dunwich in Lost in Time and Space. And then we'll be heading off to Carcosa, and I still have to figure out who I want to play in Carcosa. Is there another? I feel like there's another victory monster in here too, right? That we just didn't draw. Yeah. There's another monster, and we could have probably... None of these have victory, right? Because they... Yeah. So, there's another monster, and we could have played another Delve Too Deep. Those were our 2 ways to get what we needed. But it's okay. We did well. Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. I'll figure out how to spend the 4 XP. It'll probably end up being like Vicious Blows on Lily or something like that. And then for Norman, I think it'll be the other Fearless and a Deduction, maybe, something like that. Yeah, he came in right at the end. I tend to start I tend to start at midnight. So if you come in at 12:45 or midnight Eastern, you're going to be a little bit late to the show. And things are running pretty smoothly. Lily's been doing some pretty good work. As you can see here, we got the hammer. We didn't have it in the opener, and then we played prepared for the worst, and we didn't get it, and then we drew it on the first turn's upkeep. So it ended up working out. We got we used our ward of protection to block the 2 encounter cards, Hex, and then we immediately drew this, which put us on a clock. I wanted to milk this scenario so we could get 1 more XP to get the last hammer into Lily's deck, but I couldn't afford to take the trauma from dying on Norman. I also couldn't guarantee that Lily could get this clue, although she was set up. She had 6 cents plus the rosary and her mantra, so I probably could have gotten the clue eventually, especially once I flipped through the deck and hit the other guts or something like that. But I'll be on tomorrow night to finish up Dunwich, and then from there we'll be hitting up Return to Carcosa. So I'll see everyone there. Yeah, I mean we did pretty well in Dunwich. I mean, let me go look at our total XP count. I think we're in the mid 20s. We didn't get a chance to play enough. Yeah, we're gonna be at 30 XP, so I'm gonna get the extra mantra for Lily as well. Um, So with in the thick of it, we're going to end at 30, which is really 27 from the scenario, right, or from the campaign itself. There was a couple of spots where we had to get out early because of poor draws and things like that. Um, and we missed a couple of it. Like we missed a victory in the Clover Club. We I made a mistake where I forgot about when we got engaged with the pit boss, and so I penalized myself by taking a doom. And because of that, I didn't have the turn to get the last location clues and get out. I also couldn't get Peter, which meant we didn't have Naomi as an ally for this. So this is I don't know if you've seen the return to Naomi, but instead of getting the clue, you get this asset, which is pretty sweet. But she didn't have our backs, so instead she just ignored us. But luckily, we restored Silas, so we didn't have to fight Seth. He just went away, so we didn't have to fight him at all. But we lost the victory from killing him, right? So in a way, that's another spot where we could have potentially gotten victory. Yeah, well, if you watch the video from the other night, it was insane. Lily died on like turn 4, and then Norman actually kept moving in and out of Silas's room to like get clues, and like I used blur to take extra actions to get extra investigates. Written in the stars was like discarding deduction to get 5 deductions in a turn, and so we got all the clues, and then on the very last turn I had 2 actions remaining, the Necronomicon in my hand, um, and I could either investigate, and if I fail the investigate, have a backup one to still win, or play Necronomicon and investigate, and if I fail the investigate, I would die, like I would lose. But I decided to agree or to go for it, and so I played the Necronomicon, and then I passed the test. The only way I could fail is if I hit the red squid, right, the Cthulhu sign. So it worked out. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. The video's on YouTube if you want to catch it, or it's in the VOD from Blood on the Altar. But yeah, it was definitely a pretty insane amount of work from Norman's deck. Like I thought Lily was gonna do a lot of carrying, and it turns out that it's really easy to carry when your clue getter can kill a bunch of enemies, evade a bunch of enemies, take like 6 actions and get all the clues. It works out pretty well. But yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'll try to, I'll be consistent. Like I said, I'll be around midnight or 45 minutes ago your time. I don't know where you are, but that's about when I start. Basically, I put my son to sleep, and after he gets to bed, I eat quick, and then I come down and play. So, all right. Well, I hope everyone had a good night, and I'll catch you all tomorrow.